Many of us go on a spiritual journey in the search of meaning, purpose, a feeling of that there is more to our life than what we can feel with our five known senses. We go on a spiritual journey to connect with our inner guidance, and we have this type of seeking mentality in that moment, which in many ways should never end. But specifically, when we are starting out on our spiritual journey, we are seeking, we are looking, we are wanting to find something to fill perhaps a void within ourselves. That can be really interesting, it can be really useful, and it can guide us to unusually interesting places. However, what it also does at the same time is that it makes us vulnerable. It makes us open to unusual ideas that might actually take us to places that are not helpful. I was on a call with a client recently, and she was talking about how at the beginning of her spiritual journey, she also wanted to find a partner who was also into spirituality and openness and intuition and yoga and meditation and all of the kind of things that you might or might not do on your spiritual journey. This dude turned out to be a psychotic control freak. He is what you would call a spiritual predator. I think that's what I would call him. And I think that there are so many of these people out there who are, for one reason or another, looking for people that, because they are seeking, their mind is open, and that make them vulnerable and susceptible to ideas that are not useful. And how do you know that you are being controlled by somebody, right? They tell you how to eat, they tell you how to feel, they tell you what to believe, they tell you what to fear. They basically, in so many ways, try to take over your life. And in my opinion, no spiritual person or guide or teacher has the right to do that. Of course, we want to receive guidance and knowledge on how to improve our life, how to experience more joy, how to experience more grace, how to experience more connection and a feeling that we are connected to our inner guidance and the people around us in our lives. However, the moment somebody says that you can only do this or you can only do that, and you have to believe this really far out specific idea, otherwise you are not spiritual, I think that is wrong. I think it is harmful. And I also don't think it's helpful. And I would encourage you, if you are on your spiritual journey, to truly try and avoid these people. You know, any good spiritual guide or teacher should create a space for you to truly connect with your soul and your soul's purpose, and then live from that place, whatever way that might look like. Of course, within the law and an ethical and moral framework, but truly bringing forward your soul's connection and purpose. That is what a guide is there to do, not necessarily to come up with some sort of cosmic drama about how all of this comes together. Of course, there are different things that are quite interesting and I have found useful in my own life, but at the end of the day, if somebody doesn't resonate with what I share, and that's okay. It just means it doesn't resonate with them, it's not for them, and that's totally fine. They might have a totally different perspective, and that can be really, really interesting. So yeah, just know that if you are at the beginning of your spiritual journey, it will most likely make you susceptible to some perhaps unhelpful ideas. So even still, use some discernment around what you are researching, what you are finding, and then parse out and leave what really doesn't feel liberating, open, explorative, and interesting. And if it doesn't help you in your daily life, it's also not that interesting, I don't think. I hope that you found this useful, and if you did, hit that like button, subscribe button, leave a comment, leave a question if you have one. I would love to hear from you, and see you in the next video. Thank you so much for listening.